I lived in this neighborhood when there were very few houses here. It was when it was first being built. And this was all a dirt area and a field, and the whole area was like that. And Ann Ballinger and I would walk, and there were fields all over the place. And then we started seeing something being built here, and we couldn't figure out what it was. And the more we walked by it, the more we wondered. And then it started to look like a bank, and then it started to look like a church. And then we thought, well, I think it's a church, but it looks like it has a big gym. We couldn't figure it out. What we realized was this was a church, and that we wanted to come here. And so the first Sunday that I came here, it was so full that people were standing shoulder to shoulder. There were not enough chairs, and it was incredible. It was so incredible that there were, I think, 500 people maybe that showed up, and it was amazing to see God just coming in here right from the start. That was really incredible to see. I think one of the things that I find exciting is that from the get-go, this church has been one that's reached out to the community. And I know we had different things then, but what I saw then was that beginning of that. And then as the church grew and we had more people coming and more people knowing it, and then the neighborhood filling up with houses, there were more people around. And there was a point where we had a flood here that everyone knows about. And I remember vividly how this church automatically opened its doors. They were sandbagging behind it, and there were a lot of people there that were working. And we opened the doors here and started feeding people with food that was coming in. And I always think of this as such an incredible thing, because I have no idea how many people were here, but we served food from about 4:30 till about 10:30 that night with no break in the line. We just had food coming from different houses in the neighborhood or whatever. And when it was all done, we had some sandwiches from the Salvation Army left, and that was it. And that to me is such a perfect story of how we were involved with the community. And I think it gave us an understanding that we really were getting along and doing it for Christ. And that it was such an example of the feeding of the 5,000, where all this food just sort of showed up, and there was a little bit left at the end, just like in that story. And I just think that's such a neat illustration. And I've seen that growing over the years, where some of the kids were just tiny when they first came here, and now they're adults and youth, and we have such a great thing for that. And just so many more people that are really, I think, continuing to develop that caring and that doing things for other people in the congregation as well as the community. And I'm just obviously excited about that, because that to me is a big deal. Being all in there is making decisions in your life based upon your faith. And does that strengthen my faith, or does it make my faith less? And if you have faith and it continues to grow, that comes from being with other people and other Christian people in our community. And I say that within our building here. It helps our faith to grow when we learn more about each other, we learn more about God. That all continues to grow. And the more that happens, the more I want to be here, the more I want to feel a part of it. When I'm in a place where I see and see what's going on and I feel comfortable, I want to be here more and more. And I'm finding that the more and more I do that, the more I center my life around that, the more my faith grows.